Hello viewers, this is the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, and it probably is the single most craziest SUV in the history of mankind. Starting under the bonnet of this car, this is a massive engine. When I say massive, I mean exponentially massive. This is a 6.2 liter Hemi V8 supercharged as well, which has the Hellcat badge right there, as you can just see. Because after all, this is an American car and it hails from the Chrysler products. And so Jeep just went crazy with this. This motor has 707 horsepower. Just for reference sake, the McLaren 720S has 710 horsepower. This thing has 707. This is just a V8. That is a twin turbo V8 supercar. This is just a V8 family car. Just to show you how insane this is. It's faster than basically every single supercar in the last 20 years. Because it does 0 to 60 in around 3.5 seconds. Just for reference, that's faster than a Porsche Carrera GT and a Lexus LFA. Those do like 3.7, 3.8. So yesterday, as most of you might remember, we did the Mercedes-Benz G63. And that car has around 400 to like 500 horsepower. This has around 300 more horsepower. And this is just a tad bit touch older. But yet again, being Chrysler, being Jeep, they just went insane and decided to stick a Hellcat motor inside it. Instead of like regulating things and being more fuel efficient, they just said, we do not care, we want to go all out. Because in comparison to like a Jeep SRT, that has around 475 horsepower, this is for people that just think that that is way too slow. Just to show you how insane this car is, this car has a 2.4 liter supercharger inside it. And to just show you how insane that is, my car is a 2.5 liter V6. This is a 2.4 liter supercharger. So best believe that it will get you off the line quicker than almost every other supercar and every other SUV. It's faster than basically even a Mercedes-Benz G65 or even a newer GLE 63. But it's a very insane car, and I just love how it's brought out. And I just cannot stop looking at this engine. It's just so menacing. It's so big. It is just out of the ordinary. Like, no one really asked for this. Like, we just did not ask for this. And to be honest, I'm just glad that Chrysler did something like this.
Okay guys, moving on to the exterior now of the Trackhawk. I want to just touch on some points that make this different to the standard SRT. You might be wondering what are the differences. So there are 3 or 4 main differences. Firstly, there are yellow colored brake calipers over the red standard ones that you get on the normal SRT. The wheels come slightly different. You then obviously get your supercharged badge, as the normal SRT is just a 6.2 liter Hemi. This being a 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi, you get the badging. It comes with upgraded tires for better performance. And we can move to the rear end now, where you'll notice you get your Trackhawk badge and a very subtle but very well designed rear diffuser with 4 exhausts over the standard 2 exhausts of the normal SRT. And other than that, there's slightly wider arches. As you can see, they've put on a little bit of that extended bit other than just the standard SRT. And overall, they've changed maybe a little bit in the grille as well, just to make it that slight tad bit more exaggerated and more aggressive looking. And overall, I just think that this car is such a menacing car to look at. It's got such a stance. It's wide, it's low, it's just got this astronomical presence about the actual car. It's a pure American type of car, where it's big, wide, boat show type of car with a massive engine inside, and it just gives me goosebumps thinking about the stats, the performance, the looks, and everything about the general design of this car. And overall, I think this is a very well balanced, very well platformed car with very good design. So now we're going to move to the interior.
Alright, so now that we're in the interior of this car, this is far better than the G-Wagon that we were in. So first starting off, you have your Trackhawk badge right there, just to distinguish that it's a more premium model than your standard limited model. Then looking here, here's your steering wheel. It has your volume buttons over here, then your cruise control buttons as well. And then behind you have your paddle shifters, which don't feel the best of quality, but then again, it's just good enough. And then inside here you have your gauge cluster, your digital gauge cluster in the middle. And then to the far left you have your speedometer showing 320 kilometers. I cannot it's just a big gasp of air to myself, just because of how brutal and fast this car is. I mean, a limited only goes to maybe like 240 or 220. This thing goes to 320 kilometers an hour. And then looking here, you have your engine temps and then your fuel gauge as well. And then the surprising thing is it has a lot of like glass carbon fiber, which is surprising in a car like this, especially in a Jeep. You don't expect that type of quality in a Jeep. And then you have your leather right here, soft touch leather. Then you have your felt up here, and then you have your speaker system right there. Your sun visor, if that's good enough, yeah, as you can all see. Then walking down here, you have your infotainment system, which is actually pretty fast for what it is, considering it came out for the 2017 model year. And it's still very fast to this day. Then looking here, you have your climate controls and your volume buttons for however you want to control the infotainment system. And then here's your gear shifter, which is so big and chunky, it literally fits my entire hand. You can literally see how this is an American car. Then here you have your drive modes. I never thought in my life I would ever say that in a Grand Cherokee you have drive modes. You have your track, your sport, your auto, snow, tow, and then it has the old school drag lights, Christmas lights for the launch control. Yes, this car has launch control. A Grand Cherokee has launch control. And then right here, and then Mateo's gonna continue on about the general feeling about this car.
And so yeah, we now move to just onwards with the quality of the car and the general quality. As Eugene said, comes with soft touch leather, this glossy carbon fiber throughout that extends around the car. Every feeling in this car has been worked on and manufactured to the best of quality, which many people would not expect, and this is why this car is actually so underrated. All of this is soft touch leather. This is a very nice feeling here. You've got your large speakering system, which has I think around 8 to 10 speakers, if I'm not mistaken. You've got a lot of storage for your cups and other general hides out there. You've got a slow closing, or slow opening I should say, glove containment with very nice material in, a bit of extra space hidden at the top there, almost as if what something like a Mercedes or more upmarket German car would have. And we can move here where you then get extra storage over there for a phone and all your connections, your USB ports, your aux cables and so forth. And then we move to the glove compartment, which isn't very much a glove compartment, which is probably one of the main issues you could have with this car. You don't really have much space. You have enough space for maybe a phone in there and not much else, even if so a phone. And other than that though, all of this is just really well made. The seats are comfortable. They've got thick leather, thick cushioning, and you fit into the seat really well. You feel like you're stuck in the car in a very comfortable way. And just the general quality on this car is very upscale from what you'd expect from what at the end of the day is an American branded Jeep Grand Cherokee. And so this is very surprising to both Eugene and I, that even in some ways it outclasses the slightly older 2014 G-Class that we're in. But at the same time, that was the highest of the high of quality of Mercedes in the G-Class, in their big SUV. And this Jeep somehow just outflashes it in many ways, if not all the ways. And so you've got more speakering around there. Your infotainment system, as we said, works quite quickly, works well. These all feel firm. The little buttons here I wanted to touch on as well. Unlike in the G-Class where they were very plasticky and spinny, these have a bit of a more rubbery feel to them. They have a bit of tension between them and you feel like you're in control of the buttons. And yeah, I just like to say the general quality of this car is very good. You've got all your nice stitching running around the whole interior. And so now we shall see what it's like sitting in the back of this car after being in the back of the very tall seated G-Class yesterday. Welcome to the back seats now, guys. We are now in the rear end of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, where again you are pleased to see that there's soft touch leather all over the face. The seats, as you could see, and how I was explaining, these are very thick, comfortable seats. You feel very welcome, very comfortable sitting inside this car. It's a very pleasing place to be in. And just like the Merc yesterday, the Jeep comes with TV screens at the back for your kids to watch movies, for PlayStation, for Xbox, which any derivative of some sort of gaming system you use. But yeah, and if you don't want them, they fold back in the seat. So Dodge and Jeep, the whole American brand, has thought of these simple little edges, to make the car better than their competitors. As what other car comes with foldable TV screens, which save you a lot of hassle? Generally, you spend time trying to put the screens up, take them off, or like in the G-Class yesterday, they were just planted there in one place.
And then these TV screens as well, I just like to touch on, are generally and genuine high quality TV screens. They're not plasticky or too plasticky, I should say. The plastic feels like good quality plastic. The screen looks really good, and just the general quality inside of the car is very good. Got a lot of headroom here. You can see there's quite a bit of headspace. So even if you're 6 foot tall or over, you have a bit of, you've got quite a bit of headspace there. It comes with your 2 cup holders in the back and your foldable little armrest here that you can hold. Then generally, like I touched on before, just the general quality of this car. It's a very comfortable place. All the seats are very well cushioned. All surrounding you, there's leather. There's a lot of space. This being such a wide car, it owns a lot of space inside of the car. And then just the genuine surprise that we have from this car. It's a very surprising car. It's very underrated, I'd like to say. As if you wouldn't think this to be competing with Germans or the higher upmarket SUVs from a quality standpoint or space standpoint. But it really does, and it even outclasses them, in my opinion, for the value of the car. You're getting such good performance, you're getting a lot of comfort inside of the car, you're getting the space that you need inside of the car, and you can really bring your family along to take on a 300 kilometers an hour trip and get to your destination in 10 minutes. And then on the other side, you have your launch button to use your 875 newton meters of torque from your giant supercharger to get off the line faster than any BMW or Golf GTI that you need to. And so I just say that this car is brilliant in the rear. You've got your lot of space, got your headspace, use your speakering systems. Again, you've got your carbon fiber around here, and they've touched with the red seat belts as well.
Now that we've arrived to the rear space of this car, it's a very big space compared to the G-Wagon that we were in, because that was a very boxy shape and it was very straight. Well, this is more curved and has a lot more room to actually stuff a lot of things in. So this is my tripod extended all the way, and you can see it actually fits in very well. And there's the box, here's my camera bag, and then you can fit a lot of things in here. You can fit suitcases, carry-on bags, anything you want, and go on a very long trip for a very long time. It's very spacious. If you open here, you have your space saver spare wheel, which is kind of surprising because in most sports cars and most sports SUVs, they actually give you a very, very, very tiny wheel like Porsche to shame you. But let's actually start up the car just so that you can hear what this sort of beast sounds like. So what do we conclude about this amazing car? Saying the G-Wagon is a good car is a bit of an understatement. It's a very, very, very old car. And yes, I love it, but I love this even more just because of how insane it is. I mean, 700 horsepower in a family SUV is probably something that will never be done again, especially in this form of having a Jeep. I absolutely adore this car. It is probably the craziest SUV in the history of automobiles. And would I recommend it? Hell yes, as the motor says, it's a Hellcat. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.